What's going on, all my managers in the Asgardian League of Fantasy? It's your commish, Olive Juice 88, coming at you guys with the Week 13 recap here on a Friday night. Chilling. Um, got some FCS football game that's about to start. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to watch it or not. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, I'm gonna just jump right into it. We're just gonna recap the games this week and the playoff scenarios. So we got myself beating Mr. Brian Carton by 25 with the defensive player of the week, Jordan Brooks, with 24 points. Um, you know, needed the win, wanted the win, and Carton's gonna have to do something to wrap up a playoff spot this week. He is on the bubble, and we'll see what happens. Our second game, we got Josh Jansen taking out Brad by a whopping 59 points. Just completely destroyed him and relegated him to the bubble also. In our third game, Eric Bray takes out Mr. Matt Murphy by 52 points in our second game that was decided by 50 plus. Not really even close. Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown completely destroyed it. Neither of those are taking home offensive MVP honors, though. That honor is going to fall to DK Metcalf with his 26.7 points in our fourth game. He was the only person to score over 20 points for J. Russ in his victory over my old Papa Bear. It was a 12-point victory, so, um, it was easily the closest game on our slate this week. And without DK's performance, that could have easily given Pops a second win on the season. And in our final game, we've got Melvin completely wrapping up the division by taking out Lethal Kindness, my brother Brian Smith, by 29 points. It's gonna relegate him to the bubble also. He is currently on the outside looking in with Brad, and I'll lay out the scenarios that may get them in. So as we move on to the current playoff picture, we've got Melvin winning his division, taking the first round bye. The only way that he gets knocked out of that is if, for whatever reason, every one of his players gets hurt and scores 0 points, and I beat him by like 200 points, which is not likely. So I'm just going to go ahead and say he has won his division, secured his first round bye. In the second seed, we've got Eric winning his division and securing a first round bye. Kind of the same thing. The only way he moves up to the one seed is if, for whatever reason, Melvin's whole team goes down and he outscores both of us by whatever he needs to outscore us by to take that top spot. Um, Barring freak injuries and crazy things, I have locked up the 3 seed. As with the 9-4 record, everybody else is sitting at 7-6 or 6-7 and fighting to get in. So nobody, with this being our last week 14, starting last night, nobody can catch me. So I have secured my spot at the 3 seed, and we'll be taking on whoever ends up in the 6 seed in the playoffs. Our 4th seed is more than likely locked up. I don't foresee anybody outscoring Josh Jansen by 150 some odd points. Um, so yeah, that's that's a thing. Um, actually, I think he's playing. I think he's playing a 7-6 team. In J Russ. So J Russ, buddy, if you win this week, I do believe you move up to the 4 seed just because you'll be 8-6, and Josh will be 7-7. So, um, but yeah. So I mean, I guess I was kind of wrong with my initial calculations. So yeah, Josh, you're definitely locked into the playoffs. Because of points. You're not necessarily locked in the 4 seed. That's my mistake. Whatever. Oh man, just had a complete brain fart. All right, so the 5 and 6 seeds are open as people are battling for those. Like I said, Josh, you have locked up a playoff spot. Just it might not necessarily be the 4 seed. Now, as I said, J Russ, if you win this week, you will, I believe, move up to the 4 seed and bump Josh Jansen down to the 5 seed. If you lose and the other like 6 and 7 teams also lose, you will slot right into the 5 seed. There are some scenarios that could bump you all the way out of the playoffs. If you lose and other teams win and outscore you, you could end up on the outside and down in the toilet bowl. Um, Carden, Hoscat, Draga Armory, you will secure a playoff spot with a win and a Team Lethal Kindness loss. Like I said, I'm given that I've already messed up with the whole 4 seed calculations. I'm not sure who's going to be what seed, so I'm not really gonna try to put who's going to be in what seed if this and that happens. So um, now, little bro, Team Lethal Kindness, Brian, other Brian, you would be in with a win and a J Russ and Carden loss. So, Team J Russ or Draga Army loses and you win, you are in. You could also be in with a J Russ loss, and if Carden wins, but you score more points and take over that tiebreaker, you would be in that situation. I believe. I'm pretty sure. And Brad, you, I think, can only really make it in if you win and all three of the above teams lose. So if you win and J. Russ, Carden, and my brother lose, you would then secure a playoff spot. And I think you have to. I think you can lose, and if they lose but you score more points than them, I think you can make it in. But I'm not 100% sure. I don't. I didn't. I've only got so much room on this paper, and I didn't write out every little bitty point tiebreaker scenario and all that. So. And then in the toilet bowl, the 7 and 8 seeds are open because it just depends on how those four teams that are battling for the final playoff spots kind of unfold. Um, and the 9th and 10th seed are belonging to Matt Murphy and Pops. So that's the game we play. Fantasy football is a cruel, cruel mistress, and sometimes things don't go our way. I'm currently fighting for a playoff spot in my other money league that I'm in with Hoscat and J. Russ. Um, like it's just wild. It's been a wild season. I did everything right. I'm gonna vent for a second. I feel like my process was right for this last week. I sat Justin Fields coming off an injury. I would have won if I'd have played him, but I don't feel bad about that because it wasn't that bad. I didn't feel bad about that. Played Zay Jones against a terrible Detroit defense. 16 yards. That's all he could do. If I play any of my running backs on my bench, I win the game. That was the decision that I struggled with the most. I wasted a 30-point game from the Browns and a 30-point game from A.J. Brown. So, I guess he falls under the category of the Browns. So, 2 30-point games from Browns, and I managed to lose by like 2 points. Fantasy football, you are a cruel, cruel mistress. That being said, gonna woosah here, move on to this next week, get into my process to set my lineups there. Feel like if I win this week against J. Russ, I did give him his first loss in that league, and it's been downhill ever since for him. And buddy, I hope I can take you out again this week and make it that much easier for me to make the playoffs. I think I have to win this week and next week to make the playoffs in that league. So, that being said, I'm going to sign off of here. Good luck to you guys in Week 14. Well, everybody except for Melvin, being that I'm playing him. And, I'd like to beat him just so that I know that I can. If we happen to meet in the playoffs, I know that I can beat him. But, anyway, y'all have a good weekend. Stay safe out there. And good luck to you in your coming matchups. See y'all next week with the Week 14 recap and playoff preview. Later, guys.